Hello, this video is a group presentation for BIM and data management, and our group chooses the title Site Development and Planning. And the group members are Afika, Eva, Masabila, and also Muhammad Najib. As for the introduction, site development and planning is the process by which the ideas of a master plan are designed in detail and brought to realization on the ground. Site development elements typically include drainage, earthwork, roads, paths, exterior pavements, site structures, exterior signage, exterior lighting, site finishing, lawns, and planting. The complex moving components of construction projects are broken down into a practical and workable building plan through construction project planning. Project plan is also used as a benchmark from which to derive a project cost estimate and project completion timeline. The purpose of site development and planning is to ensure the built and natural physical environment of the area continues to meet the needs of the people who use it and engage with it. It depicts the general layout and configuration of a site, including building footprints, parking and street layout, conceptual landscaping and lighting, site cross-section drawings, and building elevation. Starting a construction project without suitable site development may interrupt the project plan, delay the approval of building permits, and expose the project developer or investor to a significant financial and even legal risk. So, Bentley Advancing Infrastructure System. The focus is to consider the construction industry as a crucial information processing system, and in its ideal form, an individual internal representation of design intent, which we call practitioners, interacts with other practitioners by first interacting with an information processing system that manages various shared external representation of design intent. From an information technologist point of view or perspective, there is an underlying assumption that design data is held in a sufficiently complete representation, and that changes to this representation are transactions that move the representation from one consistent state to another. However, the construction process is fundamentally open-ended. Such an approach may be insufficient on its own. New building types, design configuration, and construction techniques are developed on a regular basis, and this needs the extensibility of any computing system implemented in this area to capture and manage new representation. By using Bentley system, we are advancing the way of designing, constructing, operating, and maintaining the infrastructure and facilities. Therefore, it is much easier to meet program requirements which secure access to trusted and accurate information that standardize BIM best practice, as it will make better decisions faster, lower construction and operations costs, and enhance infrastructure security.
The concept of normalization of data is that it requires an item of data that is being recorded only once. Any subsequent use of that data requires a reference to the original item. To put it simply, normalization of data can be said when an item of data required is recorded only once, and any following data requires a reference to the original item. In terms of construction, reports were made based on the model of the structure in the form of drawing. However, drawings are not the only type of reports. So, a report will be consistent just like any other reporting procedure if the underlying model is consistent. Example of a model and drawing or reporting system is MicroStation and Triforma, which support this set of functionality. Transactions are like individual decisions where only when complete entirely will it be committed, but if it is not, it will be rolled back. So, we can apply transactions to maintain the consistency of design data in the context of construction, but this is reliant on how much of the design semantics are made apparent within the system. Transactions are individual, and in the sense that it is not possible to complete only part of the transactions. In terms of 3D modeling and 2D drawing, transactions can change the state of one model but has no rules to maintain the state of any other models, which means any changes that we make in 2D model, in 2D drawing, it will not change the state of the 3D model at the same time.
Next, the idea of long transaction and parallelization of design is about maintenance of the consistency of design data. That is the fundamental of this long transaction. There will be conflict if we have multiple users that need to share a data with the one colleagues, and if we need to work on the individual level on a subset of the project data. So the concept of the long transaction is to let the users to work on a copy of all part of a model for an extended period of time. So during the design cycles, it may not be complete as the time to create or modify a design requires time. So there is a possibility of all users to see the changes in a shared short transaction. However, this way is impractical and undesirable because the user who commits the particular change will publish incomplete intermediate solutions, and it will be also bombarded with other users' incomplete solutions. Therefore, the long transaction works with a whole series of short transactions, but it is completely private to that users. The transaction will finishes when the users commit his change model back to the central shared data repository. Then the only other users will be able to commit his change.
Lastly, we will see the other feature contains in the system, which is project bank. From the figure, we can see that the project bank helps the engineer to trace and revise the change that occur in the construction site. For example, we can see on 14 May 1999 at 12:28 am, there was an equipment was being removed from the construction site. From this, we can know all the progress that occur in the construction site. Next, the project bank allows the users of multiple users to have synchronized data and design. In this part, we will see how project bank operate between two users, which is user A and user B. If we can see, when user A commit change, the user B will not be able to do any change until user A finish his editing. After user A finish editing, both users will have synchronized data and only allow user B to commit change after that. This feature may seem like long transaction feature because it allows multiple users in one design. However, it has a bit different where long transaction only allow one user to commit change, unlike project bank which allow all users to commit change. Last but not least, the Bentley Advancing Infrastructure System really help in managing all data, including the drawing, design, and the changes that occur in the construction site. Last, it also easy to use since it allows multiple users to use it at one time. That's all. Thank you.